Hello, Westford. The 9-acre parcel known as Drew Gardens is in the news again. The Board of Health takes a stand on gas leaks, and the town's first responders got a lot of love on January the 12th. I'm WestfordCAT Board President Dan Bush, and WestfordCAT News is next. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to our free daily publication with all the latest Westford news delivered to your inbox. Just visit westfordcatnews.org and click on the red subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. The Board of Health got behind a regional effort to raise awareness of gas leaks. On January 14th, board members encouraged Town Manager Jody Ross to sign the letter, which so far contains about 8 of 12 town managers' signatures, according to Health Director Jeff Stevens. The letter is addressed to National Grid President Marcy Reed. National Grid services electric and gas to a large portion of the region, including Westford.
Aging gas infrastructure, anytime you repair one leak, you haven't really done much more than push the leak down to the next set of pipe. So the gas companies know this, so they don't really want to repair a leak because in their mind, what did that actually do? It just
want to repair the whole pipe.
Right. It's going to cost, what was it, like $9 billion or something? It was
astronomical.
Right. So I mean, to actually replace the whole system is going to cost billions of dollars. Gas company doesn't want to do that. I don't know that anyone's actually come up with a solution to this. So. But the idea here is that when there does have to be work done, if the gas companies could work with towns better, they could probably do it more efficiently. Because right now it's done really piecemeal, and they don't usually work with towns that well. They kind of stay to themselves. They don't communicate well. That's what we've all heard. I guess what this letter's asking, what we're all asking, is if National Grid could actually, you know, we're all on the same team kind of thing, work together to, hey, if we're ripping up the road anyway, could you come in then and replace the pipe, you know, and could you actually replace a whole long section of it instead of just piecemeal? I think that's, you know, the spirit of the letter. I'm not saying it'll actually accomplish anything.
Board member Michelle Petania Crawford was absent from the meeting. An informational meeting organized by the owner of Drew Gardens, Ebi Masalehdan, brought an overflowing crowd to the function room at the Bamboo Fine Asian Cuisine restaurant on January 15th. Masalehdan is planning to bring a citizen petition to the annual town meeting in March. Drew Gardens is a 9-acre parcel at 66 Boston Road. The land is under agricultural preservation restriction and requires town meeting voters to approve development. Masalehdan wants to build a 13,696 square foot farm to table restaurant on the land. Here he is presenting his plan.
It'll be a nice, beautiful, after 50 years, landmark from town of Westford. We have a bunch of other restaurants in Groton, actually. This will be similar. It'll be farm to table, and it'll bring a lot of revenue to the farmers, local farmers, and also bring a lot of jobs to the town. And I'm hoping that you guys hopefully like the new reduced size and go from there. So I'm trying to get everybody to hopefully understand the past 3 years what we have done. And we have done a lot of work in that farm. We have cleaned it out. We took out 50 tons of garbage from there. And we planted rye last year, and we brought in another 1,600 yards of loam for the APR1, which it doesn't have any loam. And actually from the, I believe from the Agricultural Environment Department, they did some testing over there, and APR3 was not really suitable to be farmed. And, but we have brought over 3,500 yards of loam, tested, clean loam, to the farm APR1 and 2, to bring it up to the standard of being farmed. And I have ordered 150 apple, peach, and cherry trees with the help of a good friend, Keith Boney. And the only thing that's holding us up, it's the road. We got to talk to, I have an appointment with Paul, the town engineer, and to talk to him regarding the road and the widening of the road. And we can hopefully decide where the orchard should start, and where the green for the farm should start. So till then, at standstill to find out what the road is going to be.
Town meeting voters have rejected 2 previous petitions by Masalehdan, and a group of opponents is gearing up to fight it again. A series of loud booms around town have Facebook posters speculating that the noises are caused by frostquakes. Speaking with WestfordCAT News Director Joyce Polino-Crane, Terry Eliason, WBZ's meteorologist and executive weather producer, explains the phenomenon and then forecasts the weather for the weekend.
Hey, Terry. There are people on Facebook in Westford talking about loud booms around town, and some people think that they are being caused by something called frostquakes. Can you tell us what those are?
Sure, yeah. So I'm a Westford resident. I haven't heard any of the booms, but I have heard of several folks that have. So there's no doubt that something's been going on. Can't say for sure that it's the frostquake, but it certainly is possible. Basically, what a frostquake is when you have water that seeps into the ground, which we've had certainly plenty of water this fall, plenty of rainfall. So that water sort of seeps its way into the cracks, into the ground, into the pavement, into the dirt. And then when it gets to a significant cold level, in other words, which has been very cold over the last recent several days, that water then at the lower part of the ground level will freeze and expand. So what basically it's doing is it's causing a small seismic event below ground level. So it's almost like a mini earthquake in a way. You have this water below ground level freezing, expanding, and it's causing the earth to sort of pull apart and crack, and that causes a little bit of a boom, or what they call the frostquake.
So that's interesting. So it's happening. It seems to be happening all around town and probably beyond Westford.
Yeah, I think it's just because we reached that critical. So we had a lot of rain in the fall and early winter, and we finally reached that critical level where the temperatures got cold enough to freeze that water down below ground level, and that critical temperature was reached. Water froze, and everything just started seismically happening underneath the ground.
Interesting. And now, regarding the weather for the upcoming weekend, so today is, what is today? January 6th?
Today is Wednesday, yes.
The 16th. So I'm hearing the possibility of a snowstorm for Monday.
Sunday, actually.
Oh, for Sunday.
Yeah. This is looking like our first real significant winter storm of the season. I know we've had a few lighter things. We had something in November, but up until now, it's been pretty quiet. We've had a very tame winter so far, but we sort of knew this was happening. I don't know if you remember when we talked back in the late fall. We sort of looked at late January into February and early March as the time frame that might get crazy.
Yeah.
And it looks like it looks like we're there. So as of right now, it looks like the snow starts Saturday night between 8 p.m. and midnight. It really ramps up after midnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. So if you're out and about Saturday night, probably not too bad. But if you have to go out Sunday morning, that's when the peak of the storm is. I expect in Westford that it will probably stay mostly snow, maybe mixing with a little bit of sleet at times Sunday morning. But I don't think we'll ever really change to rain in Westford. I think that's more Boston south. So it's a little early at this point. We're still 72 to 84 hours away from the storm. We usually like to be about 48 hours when we start talking about numbers. But at this point, it looks like a foot of snow or more is definitely attainable in Westford.
Oh, really? A foot of snow?
It's doable, yeah. I mean, I wish I could update this in another day or two, and things may change a little bit. So I urge you to stay tuned to WBZ and all your local stations. But at this point in time, it looks like a real juicy sort of big storm lasting through most of the day on Sunday. And I think really that places that stay all snow or mostly snow, like Westford and areas northwest of Boston, could easily see a foot or more.
Watch the entire interview with Eliason at WestfordCAT.org. Dozens attended a dinner for the town's first responders on January the 12th. This was the second consecutive year the event was held. It was Selectman Scott Hazelton who pushed for the recognition dinner after seeing it done in the New Hampshire town where he grew up. Organizer Nancy Cook explains the event.
The event is First Responders Appreciation Dinner, and it started last year when Scott Hazelton asked if we could put together something where he grew up in New Hampshire. They do it every year. So a few of us, Scott, Patty Mason, Marilyn Frank, and myself, put our heads together, hit up our friends for money, and here it is. And here we are, second year. It's bigger this year. The food was delicious this time, and it just was great. It's nice to be able to give back to these men and women that give to us all the time.
Among those in attendance were Police Chief Thomas McEnany and his family. Here's Superintendent Bill Olson with news about the schools.
Hi, this is Superintendent of Schools Bill Olson with a school system update. We are right in the heart of the fiscal 2020 budget season. I've presented my initial budget to the school committee. At the present time, there is a $1.2 million difference between what I have requested in terms of the needs of the school system and what the town manager has recommended that we be appropriated for fiscal 2020. And we have made recommendations to the school committee to cut $1.2 million worth of programs and services and personnel for next year. What makes it particularly difficult is that this comes on the heels of a $1.3 million reduction that has taken place in fiscal 2019. So the school department is struggling with its appropriations from the town right now. It has been for the last couple of years. And we'll continue our conversations with the school committee, and we'll continue our conversations with the finance committee and the board of selectmen. We meet with them on Thursday, January 24th. One of the factors that we have built into the FY20 budget, but have had to remove some staff, is some staffing and some buses that we anticipate needing, some additional staffing and buses to meet some of the new development that is happening in town. At the present time, there are approximately 729 units of housing being built that will have school-age families occupying them. My estimation is that over the next few years, our school system will experience an enrollment increase of 300 to 400 more students from all of the development. So we've had to cut out our contingency teachers that we've budgeted for new student growth, along with a couple of buses, along with other services and programs and staffing to make the numbers fit. But I think you know at this point in time, in all the years that I've been in this school system, which is over 33 years right now, transparency is very important to us, and it's important for the boards and committees to know what's in our budget and what's not in our budget, and for you to know also going into town meeting in March. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bill Olson, have a good upcoming Martin Luther King Day weekend, and I'll speak with you soon. Thank you.
Spunky, a 12-year-old rat terrier, is available now from Lowell Humane Society. Here's WestfordCAT's production coordinator, Patty Stalker, with more about Spunky.
December was a big month for adoptions at the Lowell Humane Society. Let's see if we can keep it going by finding a home for this 12-year-old rat terrier named Spunky.
Hi, so this is Spunky. Spunky is a 12-year-old male rat terrier looking for a new home. He was surrendered to the shelter because his family just had way too many pets at home, and they needed to downsize to make sure they could provide quality care to a fewer number of pets. Spunky is looking for a home with adults only. He can be a little nervous with strangers, so it's best that he go to an adult home that will take their time with him and let him get comfortable. He also would probably prefer a home without any other dogs. He can be a little protective of things like food and toys, so unless you're very savvy and familiar with that behavior, he's probably best as a one dog. He can go home with cats though, which he has lived with before as well. He is a very sweet boy. He really likes to snuggle, and he'll be having dental surgery soon to get rid of a few rotten teeth, but otherwise he is good to go. He's very active, even for 12 years old. He really likes to go for walks. He enjoys going for walks. He's very good on leash, and he also likes to curl up with you and snuggle.
If you think you'd like to provide Spunky with his forever home, or would like more information on donating to or volunteering at the Lowell Humane Society, you can visit them Tuesday through Sunday at 951 Broadway Street in Lowell. or go to lowellhumanesociety.org. Call 978-452-7781. You can also find them on Facebook. For WestfordCAT, I'm Patty Stalker.
You sit. Good boy.
Here's WestfordCAT board member Betsy Alvarez with suggestions for things to do in the area.
Thanks, Dan. The Beelzebubs of Tufts University are performing at Westford Academy on Saturday, January 19 at 7 p.m. This a cappella group is helping to raise money for Friends Advancing Music Education, better known as FAME. Tickets are $15 in advance and $20 at the door. Children under age 5 will be admitted free of charge. To make a ticket purchase, search for @Tufts Bubs on Facebook. The Rodenbush Community Center and the Cameron Senior Center are partnering to provide an intergenerational program for families. The movie Coco will be shown on January 22nd at the Senior Center at 4:30 p.m. Light refreshments will be served. Residents are asked to sign up by January 18 by calling 978-692-5523. Pianist Rieko Aisawa of the Harsowski Trio in New York will perform a solo recital on Sunday, January 27 at 3:15 p.m. at the Parish Center for the Arts. Her husband, Jesse Mills, is a violinist and will join her for the second half of the program. Celebrating Mozart's birthday, Aisawa will perform the composer's music as well as pieces by composers who were influenced by him, such as Chopin and Debussy. To purchase tickets, visit westford.org/PCA. This is Betsy Alvarez, a WestfordCAT board member. Back to you, Dan.
That's it for now, Westford. We leave you with images of Westford Academy and Stony Brook School students who are here at WestfordCAT recording public service announcements on climate change. Look for the PSAs right here on WestfordCAT at the end of the month.